Okay, Pre-Calc A, Unit 5 test review. Let's do it. Starts out with a take matrix B, subtract C. As you can see, this is a 2 by 3. This is a 2 by 2. This just is not going to work because in order to subtract, this has to be the same as this. So we can just pull the plug on that right now. Number 2, all it's saying is take matrix B, multiply it by 4. So I got to go up here and just multiply everything by 4. So if I was to just multiply that by 4, it'd be 16 minus 8, 4. And if I wanted to be really risky, I'd circle this because it matches this, but you better check this because you never know about not possible. Well, then again, it's not possible, so it's got to be B, but let me show you my work. 4 times that is 0, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 3 is 12. So we go, okay, this test is starting out pretty dang easy. Number 3, multiply B times A. Well, so we take a look at B, multiply it by A. My recommendation when I was teaching this is don't you dare try to do that in reverse. My brain would not allow it. So there's B. We'll multiply it by A. Negative 5, 4, 1. 3, negative 2, 7. 2, 0, 6. There's A. So we got to take the first row, multiply it through the first column, piece by piece, and that answer will go in the upper left-hand corner. So that's 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So that's negative 26. Plus 2 is negative 24. Negative 24. So I could look at all these and go, aha, it's going to be A or B. It's definitely not possible. It's not possible. I know that's confusing. It's not going to be this. So it's going to be one of these two. So now I'm going to throw this row through this here, and that's going to give me an answer right here. 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, so we're up to 20. Plus 0 is 20. You can already see that it's going to be B. So we can just circle B. But let me show you one more row. 4 times 1 is 4. Minus 14 is negative 10. Plus 6 is negative 4, and it matches. So it's got to be B. Okay? And you can just stop there. Now, what would you do if it wasn't multiple choice? Now you'd have to multiply that through this. That'd go here. This through this would go here. This through this would go here. And, you would end up with this answer. Okay? That's how you would do it. Okay. Now it says take B, multiply it by C. Well, again, I'm just going to go ahead and take the time and transfer it down here because I don't think it will show the whole page very good. So there's B, and there is C. All right, so there's B, and there's C. Notice there's 3 things in this row, and there's only 2 things in this column. Not possible. This would go with this, 12. This would go with this, 4. And then 1 doesn't have anything to multiply by, so it's not possible. Not too bad. All right. Let's go on to number 5. Number 5 says, find the determinant of matrix C. Well, I better transfer this over here. 3, negative 7, negative 2, 5. 3, negative 7, negative 2, 5. Let me double check that. 3, negative 7, negative 2, 5. So this is a 2 by 2, so I'm going to multiply that way first. Minus, always minus. That'd be positive 14, because a negative times a negative is positive. 15 minus 14 is 1. It's got to be C. Let's keep going. Find the inverse matrix of C, if this is what C is. I guess I could have just looked here. Anyways. Okay. So the formula for this is 1 over the determinant of C. And then, really, what we're going to do is switch these. This stays, but you take the opposite. That stays, but you take the opposite. And that's the formula. So all we got to do is find the determinant. Well, we already did find the determinant. It's 1. So what's 1 over 1? Well, 1 over 1 is just 1. What's 1 times anything? That would be itself. So letter C is the correct answer. Okay, number 7 kind of messes with you. A lot of students struggle with this one, but don't let it. First thing you're going to do is understand that you're going from here to here. So you ask yourself the question, which row has been changed? Row 1 hasn't been changed. Row 2 has not been changed. Row 3 has been changed. So I know it's going to end with R3. I guess this one's possible, but this one we've eliminated, okay? But let's get more specific. How could we go from -3 to -7? Well, we're going to have to add a -4 to this somehow. What's jumping out at me is the 4 right above it. So if I multiplied this by -1 and then added it to this, I'd get -7. So we're going to experiment and see if that pattern holds true for the whole thing. This times this plus this would be -7. -1, I'll write it over here, it kind of got lost there. -1 times 7 is -7. Plus 2 would be -5. Looking like a winner, chicken dinner. -1 times -5 plus 0 would be -5. -1 times -2 is 2. Plus 3 is 5. So we just went -1 R2 plus R3, and we replace R3. So which one is that? Letter A. Number 8 is pretty convenient. It says, if Cramer's rule is used, identify DZ. Well, all they're asking you to do is remember that you are to replace your Z column with your constants. So I know this is a 1, -1 to get started, 1, -1, but then I put the 0 in for the 1, 0. I know this is a 2, then there is no y, so that'd be 0. And then I replace the -3 with the -1. That's a 3, that's a -7, and the 4 would replace the 5. And that would be DZ. And I go on the hunt for it, and I see that it's right here, letter D. Number 9 says solve it using substitution. Well, you can see why they're telling you to use substitution. You got y equals this stuff. So I'm going to put it right here. A lot of students have a problem with that darn negative. I'm going to show you what I mean. X minus, now if you're subtracting more than one thing, you must insert your parentheses. And a lot of students don't do that. Equals -1. Now it's x minus x squared plus 5 equals -1. And I can see what's coming. By the way, this is a parabola. This is a line. We could have 2 answers. We could have 1 answer. And it's possible we have 0 answers because we're looking for the point of intersection or the points of intersection. This is going to help us find it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides. Rearrange this. Realize that if this is a trinomial, I want my squared term to be positive, so I'm going to multiply by -1. Now I'm going to factor it. -3 plus 2. So from here I know that x is 3 or x is -2. Now, to find out what y is, because I know my answer is going to be 3 comma something, -2 comma something. So, what's 3 squared? 9. 9 minus 5? 4. What's -2 squared? 4. What's 4 minus 5? -1. There's my 2 points that the line crosses the parabola at right there. All right. Number 10 says use elimination. Well, the first thing we got to realize is my x's, my y's, and my constants are all lined up, so we're good to go. We need opposites, so I'm going to go ahead and attack my y column. So I can see all I need to do is multiply the y by -5 and add to this. So that'd be -15x minus 5y equals 20. This is not the only way to do it, but now I'm concentrating on these two, and I'm going to add them together. 4x and -15x is -11x. These cancel, and I add these together, and I get 33. I can see that x is going to be -3. I can plug it in anywhere I want, so I'll plug it there. What's 3 times -3? -9 plus y equals -4. Add 9 to both sides. I get 5. -3, 5. Not too bad. All right, number 11 is just messing around with some matrices. So the first thing we have to do is multiply or divide everything by b by 4. So this divided by 4 is negative 1/2. Negative 2/4, which is just negative 1/2. 1 divided by 4 is 1/4. Negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1. 2 divided by 4 is 2/4, which is just 1/2. But then we have to subtract if we double a. So everything in a we're going to double. So that'd be 6, negative 4, negative 2, and 2. We got to do a little mental math here. I'm not sure if they used decimals. They probably did. Let me pause and check that. Okay, they did use decimals, so we'll do that. So what's 1/2 minus 6? Well, that'd be negative 6.5. What's 1/4 minus a negative 4? That'd be plus 4. And 4 1/4 is 4.25. What's negative 1 minus a negative 2? Well, that's negative 1 plus 2, which is 1. What's negative 1 minus 2? That'd be, whoops, I almost screwed up. What's 1/2 minus 2? That'd be negative 1.5. Number 12, find the determinant. First thing we're going to do is pull that out. Make our invisible line this way and this way. We'd be left with negative 2706, always minus, and that's a 4, so we're going to pull that out. Line, 3726, plus, pull that out, 3, negative 220. And now we just got a bunch of 2 by 2s. Negative 12 minus 0 is negative 12. Negative 12 times 5 is 60. 18 minus 14 is 4. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. 0 minus a negative 4 is actually 4. 4 times 1 is 4. So this is really 64 minus 16, which is 48. All right, now 13 is just giving us some instructions. It says take R1, multiply it by negative 3, and then add it to row 3 and replace row 3. So it's really saying this. So really what it's saying, if you want to really jumpstart it, is don't mess with row 1 and 2. 1, 0, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 3. We know that because this is saying that R3 is the only row that's going to change. So this times this plus this, 0. Negative 3 times 0 is 0, plus 4, 4. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, plus 5 is 2. And that would be it for number 13. Number 14, we didn't really talk about it, but the identity matrix for a 2 by 2 is just this. We talked about it briefly. 3 by 3 is going to look like this. And you can see a 1's there on the diagonal. So 4 by 4 would just be that. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. We didn't really work with this a whole lot, but there you go. Okay? Online test doesn't even have this. I deleted it. Last two problems, you guys. So this says solve it using Cramer's rule. Well, here's the deal. We were born with a brain. We're not going to do that. I'm going to multiply this by negative 2, and bing, 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 I get negative 2x plus 4y equals negative 16. We're going to use good old addition elimination. Now we're going to add these together. These would cancel. 7y equals negative 14, so y is negative 2. I'm going to plug that in right here. So x minus 2 times negative 2 equals 8. X plus 4 equals 8, so we're going to subtract 4 from both sides and get x is 4. So my answer is 4, negative 2, and I'm done. Now this one specifically says solve it using matrix row operations. So you can use Cramer's. If you're taking Mr. Cleefish's test, you can go ahead and use Cramer's. You don't have to use matrix row operations, but it does say to, which means we're going to use this. This is our goal. So what do we got to start with? A 1 in the upper left-hand corner. Do you see that 1 right there? I'm going to take that, take the letters off, and I'm going to make that happen.